Hi, my name is Jen Fleming. I am an RMT in the Hamilton, Ontario area, and I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about sexual assault. Specifically, how we as professionals handle disclosures of sexual assault in our treatment rooms and in general collegial discourse. Most of us by now can probably quote the statistics. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetimes. So to say these experiences are prevalent is sort of a statement of the obvious. I just completed the learning program addressing past sexual assault in clinical settings, produced by the Ontario Network of Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence Treatment Centers. And the most surprising thing I learned, HCPs, us, healthcare providers and physicians, are perceived as the least supportive and helpful when making a disclosure of previous sexual assault. My jaw dropped and a little piece of my heart got kind of dented. To think that the people charged with the care of their community members could be the worst to talk to about one of the most horrific experiences a person can have is really discouraging. The primary reasons people choose not to disclose such a history include fear of being blamed or not taken seriously, embarrassment, that it isn't the presenting problem. If I'm coming in for a massage on my neck and shoulders, but I have a history of sexual trauma, why would I need to tell you that even though I feel really weird about getting a massage because of this history? And of course, a lack of trust. Certainly these are barriers in any context, but in the clinical setting, these should not exist at all. Consider times you have talked about sexual assault allegations, whether in the news media or just in general. Have you ever heard yourself or someone say something like, well, why did they go back again? Or if you're going to get drunk, you got to expect it. Or even, why didn't they just stop it or fight like hell? While these may be questions you want to ask, they are actually forms of victim blaming, putting the responsibility of the incident on the victim and failing completely to take into account this simple fact. Rapists cause rape 100% of the time. Another form of impeding a claimant or survivor from getting the help they need is to minimize the experience. Comments like, well, it was so long ago, you should be over it by now, or, well, it wasn't actual rape, so it couldn't be that bad. These kinds of unhelpful responses not only stop a person from seeking further help in their tracks, but can actually re-traumatize the person and reinforce the idea that they don't matter, their pain is not important, that they are making a big deal out of nothing. And by now, more and more people are realizing unresolved trauma can have lifelong impacts on health, emotionally, socially, and physically. As healthcare providers, we must do better. So how can we handle things a little bit differently? Here's your checklist. 1, examine how you think or talk about sexual assault and sexual assault victims. Do you tend to doubt, downplay, or dismiss claims? Do you tend to argue points about the nuances of what is or is not sexual assault? Start here. Being aware of your own biases is important to ensuring they aren't making your decisions and determining your conduct for you. 2, if someone in your treatment room discloses a history of sexual assault, listen. Just listen. Listen with your full attention and with appreciation for just how difficult it can be for a person to say, I have been sexually assaulted in the past. Give the emotional space for a person to say as much or as little as they need. 3, validate their feelings and acknowledge their pain. Ask them about resources for care and supports they have, and if there is anything you specifically can do to make the clinical experience easier for them. We know that when somebody has been traumatized, if we collaborate with them, if we give them opportunities to say yes or no, or to define for themselves what the boundaries are, they are getting that power back. They are being empowered, And that can help build a lot more trust and certainly can help your treatments work a lot better and move a lot more smoothly. Number 4, finally, refrain from judgment. It can be very hard to read reports or hear stories of people who have reported sexual assault at the hands of our colleagues. Worse still if the reports were found out to be true. Certainly, we do not want to express judgment of the claimant, but we also do not want to leap to judgments about the accused. In the moment of the disclosure, the accused is irrelevant. The important person is in the room telling you their story. Your judgments are unnecessary, but your listening, your compassion, and your ability to hear a person's story about an injury that they have and help them get to where they need to be in order to get better care for that injury, that is your job. I'm going to post in the comments or whatever a link to the program that I just took. It maybe took me an hour, maybe 2 hours. It's totally free. And I think it's a really good step for clinicians like you and like me to ensure that we can be the healthcare providers that we are charged with being, so that we can meet all of our patients exactly where they are in their lives and assist them in getting the help that they need for all of the problems that they have. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that we'll chat again soon. Bye.